All right, my name is Charles William Fredericks. Everybody calls me Billy.
Okay.
I was a sergeant in the Marine Corps. I got out Sergeant Marine Corps. I went in 6 September 66. I got out 18 April 69. In case you're counting, it's 2 years, 7 months, and 11 days. That's how long I was in the Marine Corps. Just like Warren says, it changed my life. Yeah. The Marine Corps made me what I am today. And I do get emotional about it. I was wounded. A lot of guys around me died. Guys who saved my life died. And I do get emotional about it. But it was a great experience. Great people, great men, boys. That's one thing I want to bring out. The Vietnam War was fought by boys. Everybody in there was 17, 18, 19, 20. And they were mostly guys right out of high school, brave guys, did what they were told to do, fought, and I was medevaced out of Vietnam. I got wounded and got shot twice, same day, twice in the same activity. People came out and saved my life, and medevaced and helicopter pilots saved my life. They got me off the hill when they were under heavy fire. And I was just waiting there, waiting for them to get me out of there, saying, I got to get to the hospital fast. So.
I'm glad you got out.
Me too.
Now you talk about being boys. I mean, you guys are 17, 18 years old. I know Warren got in trouble, so that's why he went in. But what motivated you to join the military, and how do you choose between the Navy and the Army and the Marines?
A similar situation with Warren. My friend got in trouble, and so my friend, he went in the Marine Corps. You know, so we would always sit around before he went in the Marine Corps, sitting around joking with him and everything. And so one day, me and my other two friends said, "Why don't we go in the Marine Corps?" And so he had come back from boot camp, and he was all squared away, looking good. And we said, "Hey, you know, we can do this." So the three of us went in the Marine Corps. You know, so that's how we.
And you all went together.
All went together, yeah. So Sal, you met General Abrams, but I'm going to one-up you. I met Raquel Welch in Da Nang, okay? All right? So we were in a hospital there for a while, you know?
Now you're making me jealous.
We were in a hospital, and so the guys there, and this one guy had got wounded in the testicles.
Ugh.
Okay? So I was in, we were in NVA, NSA, Naval Support, NSU, Naval Support Unit. That was the hospitals down there. And so we're in this hospital bed there, and she's sitting on this guy's bunk who had wounded in testicles. One of the guys says, "Hey, don't bother with him. He's been wounded in the balls. Come over here and sit on my head." So
That's great.
we used to see, so we, that's, but during that time, you got to see, during Christmas time, you got to see celebrities down in Da Nang a lot, because they had a lot of shows on.
Now, how long did you serve for, Billy?
2 years, 7 months, 11 days.
In combat?
No.
2 years? Yeah.
About 90 days in combat. When I got wounded, I got medevaced out. Getting back, something you had said about what did you take out of the service, I mean, the thing to me, like I say, I was a stupid kid when I went in. The military teaches you things that you
Discipline.
never discipline. And you could do things you never thought you could do. And you're doing stuff. Al mentioned about leading, being a leader, taking charge, supervising people, being responsible for people. This is what the Marine Corps taught me. You respect for yourself. They're teaching you have responsibility. If it's your fire team, you have responsibility too. If it's your machine gun, you have responsibility too. You got to deal with that responsibility and make sure you fulfill your obligations to the Marine Corps and to the guys you are serving with. And that stayed with me the rest of my life. And that was to me, that's what the Marine Corps gave me. It gave me confidence that I could do really difficult, important things. So in that sense, it was a respect builder for myself, and a conscious, just brought up my consciousness of what I can do.
Can you remember back then you know, as a boy, what you're thinking.
I remember two things. First thing I remember is we flew over on Flying Tigers. I don't know, Flying Tigers took us from Alaska to Vietnam. And it was, you talk about, it was like 20 across crossing a row.
That's how the CIA moved around.
Flying Tigers, yeah. Okay, so they from Alaska to Vietnam. As we're coming into Da Nang, like all you see is you can see tracer rounds here. They're not firing at you. As the planes start getting lower, you just see boom, boom, little tracer rounds here and there. And you say to yourself, "This is for real." Okay. Suddenly it hits you. You get off the plane and you're right by the Naval Support Unit, and here's all kinds of Marines walking around with bandages all over them. Because the Naval Support Unit was the hospital unit. And all of a sudden you say, "This is for real." And just one other thing, if you don't mind me saying. In the movie American Sniper, there's a great line in that. He's up there and he sees these Marines who are doing entries into these houses. And you know, he's with his guy there and they're doing their adjustments so they can hit their target. And he says, "Look at these guys here. 6 months, 8 months ago, they were in high school. And now we got them out here. And a lot of them going to get killed because they just don't have the experience." I mean, it's, you know, the experience wasn't there. And that's what happened to a lot of guys in Vietnam. You're hanging on a rice paddy dike and your feet are in the water. That's, you're set on an ambush site. And a lot of times you'll set up on a rice paddy dike and you put your immerse, your lower legs all night long you're in the water until they pull up the ambush.
What would you guys say to somebody looking to join the military today? These young kids.
I'm kind of scared about some of these young people I see around here. I don't know if they could cut it, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, the generation that I came from, I mean, they were a little bit different than this generation. This is a little more narcissistic, a little more self-absorbed. You go in, the first day you go in that military, first day you go to that boot camp, it's a whole new world for you. You better be prepared for shock. And I'm not sure all these young kids that I see around anymore can take it. You know, so I'm not that. I agree with you. It would be great. You know, and I hope that I'm wrong. You know, I am very proud of our reserves now. Okay, I think our reserves do a wonderful job. They come home, they take care of their families, and next thing you know, they're banging them off out to who knows where. You know, so I think the reserve system now is a good system. When we were in, I don't think it was that effective as it is now. Okay, I think it's an effective service now, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, but you know what? They're very technical now about taking certain people.
Yeah.
You know, you got tattoos somewhere on your arm. They have a right not to take you.
Yeah, but they take you.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the performance of our reserve troops now, and the specialization of these units that they have, and I feel that their training and their experience is a lot better than a Marine back in Vietnam who 8 months ago was in high school. You know, I mean, so I think that's a good system that we have. I mean, like I say, I hope I'm wrong about what I see in the youth of today, and that includes people within my own family who I would shudder to think if they went in the military. Oh my God! I always say to them, I says, "You go in that Marine Corps, you hit Paris Island, you will be in such shock, you will be crying for your mother." And
No, I tell you, I'm not your mother. Don't cry to me, I'm not your mother.
I'll tell you this one story. My name is Fredericks, my last name. Next to me was this guy, Tommy Fuhrer. This is in Paris Island. And he was from Brooklyn. And he was a typical Brooklyn guy. Hey, I don't have to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? And when we get to do exercises, he would fake them and stuff like that. But he was a little chubby too. So he got caught by the DI. Next thing you know, they send him Fat Bodies platoon. So we don't see him for 2 weeks. We figure he's dropped out. And I can remember it was a Friday. We're standing in front. We're all in our skivvies, standing in front of our bunks. You hear a knock at the door. "Sir, Private Fuhrer requests permission to enter the squad base, sir." And he walks in. And you couldn't move your eyes. If they caught you moving your eyes, you were going to get whacked. So you're just standing there. And he walked up that aisle, And he was a lean, mean fighting machine, man. I mean, you looked at him and you said, what did they do to this guy in 2 weeks? You know what I mean? He was no fat, all cut up and everything, you know, with discipline. I says, and so that's kind of one of the ways they used to enforce discipline with us and everything, and it worked. It's not just combat that's dangerous. There's so much dangerous activity that goes on in your training that, I mean, it's incredible, and you know, it takes a lot of courage. Like we were joking about walking down the nets off the side of a boat.
Yeah.
You know, you're on these, you know, we used to do these training exercises, going down nets, and I'll tell you, it's scary, man. You're up there, and one slip, and you're going to fall into a papa boat, and guys get hurt. I mean, there's a lot of guys get injured, and you know, we do these training exercises where you have a fire team gets on a Huey and they take off off a LPH landing, LPH, the helicopter ship, you know, and sometimes those LPHs go right over the top and everything like that. So there's a lot more danger in the service than just going out in combat.
Yeah, that's right. There is, yeah. Now, I mean, you guys got to travel a little bit, see different countries, and obviously there was some off time that you weren't always, you know, doing that you see, you know, we only see the movies and stuff. Was there a best day you had that you remember, like you and your buddies went out and you were in Hanoi at a bar and just had a good time, or was that
If
anything?
you're in Hanoi at a bar, you're in trouble.
You know, wherever it might be. I mean, but sometimes you get away to kind of have some camaraderie with the guys.
Well, Warren will understand this. I took a med cruise.
Right.
And with the Marines, and you know, so you cruise around the Mediterranean, and I mean, it's like super fun time. You know what I mean? You hit Liberty, you go into Barcelona, Madrid. Well, Madrid's not. You have to take a tour. You go into Naples. You go into all these great ports, Rota, Spain, and you know, so you really, and the Navy sets it up so beautifully too. You go into port. I mean, it's picturesque. They light the ship up beautifully. I mean, their flags are flying. The sailors are all out in their whites, and you know, you're in your dress uniforms to go on Liberty. And then you go out, and everybody gets drunk and runs around and chases prostitutes, and you know. But anyhow, it's, you know, it's a good time, and you're with your buddies there, and everybody buddies up with somebody else.
Yeah. I remember going to Copenhagen. I think that was one of the best Liberty ports that we ever hit. And 1950, I guess it was 56 or 57, you could not walk into any restaurant or bar and pay. They said, "You're American. You're American. You can't pay. We pay for you. For all the help that you gave us." And I think that people forget that. You know, there was a feeling in the country that I don't think is there right now. I really don't think it's there. People appreciate the United States now. They look at the United States, not so much. Sad.
Also, I was in Rome with the Marines. Okay, and I mean, we pulled into Rome is not a port, so you have to take a tour to go up to Rome. So, and they told us, don't wear your uniform, and normally you're required to wear your uniform on Liberty. Don't wear your uniform. We don't want you wearing your uniform up there because there's a lot of anti-American feeling in Rome. We're going like, oh, they're Italians, you know. Everybody you know is Italian, you know what I mean? So, you know, so when we got there, see all over the walls, it said this: U.S. Marines kill babies. And so, you know, by that time, this is, we're talking about probably 66 rather, I'm sorry. Things have changed a lot.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing in the U.S. When you went to go to, I had to fly out of San Francisco, I had to go, they said, don't wear your uniform on the flight, which you were pretty much required prior to that. Any military flight, you took to wear your uniform. Get to San Francisco airport. It wasn't they knew who you were because you had all your hair cut off anyhow. And it might not be the kids you got to tell this to.
Maybe
It's
the
the
parents,
parents.
the moms.
Because these parents, you know, like I say, my mother, she found out I was going in the Marine Corps. By mistake, they sent something home to my house saying, show up on September 6th down in Elizabeth, New Jersey. That's how my mother found out I was going to the Marine Corps. And she comes home and she's crying, screaming, yelling, you can't go, you can't go. I go, hey, it's done. You know, but today's parents, I'm not sure that many of them look at the service as a way for their children to go and to form careers. And I think they're wrong. okay? And I also think that they're afraid to let their kids go, you know, and say, hey, I mean, I hear mothers crying, their sons are 26 years old, and they're worried about, geez, Johnny's taking a ride to New Hampshire, what's gonna happen? Johnny, let me call up this, I mean, it's disgusting. You know, you think when you were 18, 19 years old, what you were doing, and these parents nowadays, they don't want their kids doing anything. They want them sitting in front of TVs, watching TV. They like that they go to college because they feel, although I don't think they're so safe at college anymore, but, they don't recognize the fact that, that the service can really give you benefits, and they're too afraid to be separated from their children. Where you fight is, in Vietnam, there were different tactics used in every place, you know. Certain areas were heavily booby trap areas, okay? As you went up north in I-Corps, you encountered, regular MVA, which were highly trained, uniformed outfits, as opposed to Viet Cong, which were the guerrilla fighters, okay? Were the guerrilla fighters. I mean, the problem we had was civilians cooperating with the VC, and setting booby traps, and it used to annoy us. We used to walk through a ville, and they knew where the booby traps were, because you walk through the ville there, and a guy would trip off a mine or something like that. The civilians know, and they're just sitting there like this, and some of the guys would get pretty aggressive with them, but we didn't have a problem with them putting the people up front, because with the NBA, when you conflicted with the NBA, they're a mainstream military organization.
Yeah, they're in a group. They're hardcore.
Yeah.
They're hardcore. They don't travel alone, or one or two.
Right.
They're North Vietnamese. They're like we travel.
Right.
But the gooks,
VC.
DC, a lot of them are dressed in black.
Black pajamas. That's how they wore black pajamas, and they were village people. During the day, they're taking their water buffalo out, and they're pulling the rice out of rice paddies.
And
at
at night they pick up the AK. Go in.
AK, they go to the little hole where they keep their weapons, and they go out there. That's
Kill
how
the American soldier
Yeah.
over my dead body.
But that was what you had to put up with. Booby trapping, which was bad, because guys always lost something in a booby trap. And then when you had more main force operations, you were dealing with a more military, standard military type of group of people. And the Korean Marines,
Rock Marines.
their
Pam
lieutenants,
City.
their lieutenants had power of life and death over the people in their platoon. So you're a platoon leader in the Korean Marines. You're a lieutenant, and if your man deserts, if you want to kill him, you have the authority to kill him. I'm just saying, the lieutenant has the authority.
Yes.
I mean, the legal authority to
Yes.
do this.
Yes.
So if you're in a Korean platoon, your lieutenant tells you to do something, and you say, okay, this guy can have me killed. It's a little bit been a court martial. Okay, Full Metal Jacket.
First day off.
Okay.
The first half.
First half. And the second half, actually, my company was Hotel 25. And if you watch Full Metal Jacket,
I see.
you'll see him say, "Where's Hotel 25?" Okay. And the other thing is platoon.
That's good.
Platoon gives you the depression of the war. You know what I mean? Being out there in the rain, the cold. There's something you can't talk about is every day you get up, every day you're going on patrol, every day you're walking in water. Like you said, you're taking the leeches off your feet every day because you're walking through rice paddies and they're getting onto your legs, and you got to take the leeches off. There's a whole depression in that movie. If you watch it, and it kind of has the psychosis that I felt anyhow. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a psychosis there of I wouldn't say it's depression. I don't know how to describe it. Today, Vietnam is a bustling, super economic power. All right, they've adopted all kinds of, capitalistic principles, kind of capitalistic, and they have this booming economy, and when I think about it, again, I go back to those guys that died over there.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it just breaks my heart.
that's right.
Because you had these guys, they were these young boys, and it just breaks my heart. Not that I take it from Vietnam, because they did what they had to do. What did we do as a country? What did we do?
Not too much.
Not too much. And believe me, I was sitting when they were coming, when they were going out when we were abandoning Vietnam. I'm sitting over in New York at college, watching them, and what the name? Where is it?
Hanoi?
Right, yeah. Watching them, and I was sitting there saying, look at this shit. And, that's how I feel about my country in Vietnam. Okay, that's how I feel about it, and I got to live a life. General Jap he was the MVA commander. He wrote a book about Vietnam, and he says they were this close to surrendering, basically, coming to the table and agreeing with us. And the United States, via their politicians and their press, turned their backs on the American soldiers, Marines, and all the servicemen who fought over there. They turned their back on them, okay? And General Jap was their commander, and he'll tell the story about battles where they fought the Marines, the Army, and he'll tell how great our soldiers were. We have to depend on General Jap to tell us that.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I thank the Marine Corps. I don't need to be thanked for my service. I thank the Marine Corps for doing what they did for me.